Good evening, everybody. Welcome to AJ Side Panel. My name is AJ, as you probably figured out already. And what I wanted to do, normally, what you would be doing right now is reading my blog, describing or reviewing anything that I've come across recently that I wanted to share with people. I found that to be kind of limiting and time consuming in that, it takes me a while to type up stuff and I'm pretty lazy. So instead, what I decided to do is try and do maybe a weekly podcast or a podcast of basically whenever I have something entering my mind that I want to discuss. Normally, in AJ side panel recordings, you would hear me interviewing people or talking to certain people about what kind of projects and what things that they're doing. This is different once again in that I am just speaking all alone, so you get to spend the next 10-15 minutes hearing me ramble on about random bullshit. Um, you may hear some random noises in the background, like that one. That's because I'm computering and having fun while I'm doing this. So let's get on with the whole show, shall we? The whole shebang as to why I decided to go ahead and do this. Um, well, not really why. I've already explained that. Let's just move on, shall we? First off, I wanted to discuss the show Treme. I don't know if a lot of people are watching this show or have, but it is a phenomenal show. It's put on HBO. It's one of their new series that came out. It's only about 10 episodes long, and it's done by the creators of The Wire. And what Treme is about is how New Orleans is dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. It's not a reality show, if that's what you're thinking right away. It's not even a documentary. It's a full on drama, and it takes place basically 6 months, 6 to 3 months after Hurricane Katrina hits New Orleans, and it shows how they're trying to recover. Um, it's a phenomenal show. I there's a lot of things that happened during that time that a lot of us weren't aware of. It shows you New Orleans through the point of view of the people as opposed to the newscasters and the media, what was going on, even the president as well. There is no main character to focus on in the show. It's a bunch of different characters and an ensemble cast that includes John Goodman, and a lot of familiar faces from The Wire as well as Steve Zahn. Fortunately, I can't think right now as to the name of these individuals, but if you give me a second, I will IMDb them and I can tell you who is on the show and as why you would know them and why you would care. The first up I would be Candy Alexander. She played the role of LaDonna. You may remember her from other shows such as Better Off Ted, CSI Miami, as well as The Corner, which was another HBO show. Um, who else? Kim Dickens. She was an awesome character in this show. You may remember her from Friday Night Lights. She was on Lost for a few episodes. Um, yeah, a couple other things that I don't think anybody would really care for. Um, man, who else? Wendell Pierce. Man, I don't know if you guys remember. If you have seen The Wire, then you will know Wendell Pierce. He's the heavier set gentleman who was the partner to I don't know where these noises are coming from. The partner to the main character. He is also in this show. Um, it's an awesome show, really awesome show, and I just wanted to not really review it, but I just wanted to rant about it real quick. Um, for those of you who haven't seen the show, you may want to skip past this part. Uh, for those of you who have, you understand where I'm coming from. I was sad to see John Goodman's character, uh, the fate of John Goodman's character. He was one of my favorites. I liked how outspoken he was and the things that he was doing on the show really appealed to me. And it was sad to see that he had just decided to end it all and jump off a bridge, well, off the trolley. Um, Not trolley. Man, I can't even think today. The boats that go back and forth taking people places, uh, locally. He decided to hop it and give up on life. Though I have to applaud how his character did it, in that he told his wife that he loved her very much and that she was gorgeous, and that he told his daughter that she looked wonderful that day and that he loved her, and then allowed them to go on with their life, not knowing what he was about to do. I thought that was pretty awesome in the way he portrayed that and the way he nailed it. Another character that you see on the show is Steve Zahn's character, Davis McAlery. It's funny to see Steve Zahn on a TV show, but then again, it's an HBO show, so I don't really think that counts. So yeah, that was on my mind today. I finished watching it, and I wanted to talk about it. Another show that I just finished watching was called Memphis Beat. It's the new show that premiered today on TNT, starring man, I can't think of his name. The star from My Name Is Earl, Jason Lee. That's his name. Um, I kind of didn't like the show. Um, I can see where it was going with it and what they really wanted to do, but the problem is the editing sucked. It kept jumping from scene to scene without no real rhyme or reason as to what it was doing, and it kind of took you out of the scene and made everything feel a little bit rushed. You weren't able to relate to the character at all, and partially didn't give a crap. Um, it's sad because the acting was okay, even though Jason Lee tried to, in the scenes with Alfre Woodard, it looked like he was trying to show that he was on par with her uh, abilities, but it showed that he wasn't, and that he was trying too hard, and I felt bad for him in that. The writing was real good. The story looked fairly interesting. Unfortunately, it just didn't pull off too well. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, maybe you can check it out on Hulu or something, or Netflix or what have you, and give me your opinion of it as well. Um, yeah, so there you have it on that. I wanted to give you a quick little vent. Part of my job here at Forbidden Panel is that I have to post news stories as well as post upcoming releases, and comic books, and so forth. Um, and I also do reviews on them. Unfortunately, that means I have to read a lot of comic books that I don't like. That being said, I really don't like what's happening with Marvel and DC. I'm getting really burnt out on what they're doing, and how they're doing it. They try to come off as being dynamic and original and amazing, and basically it's just they're failing because they're too busy competing with each other by copying each other. It just seems like this constant game of one-upsmanship that it's getting really annoying. I really wish they would knock that shit off, take a deep breath, and just write some really original stories. That they just seem to be failing with that. I mean, let's take the big and obvious one that might be on everybody's mind right now: the Bruce Wayne Captain America comparison, that Bruce Wayne Steve Rogers comparison. Um, both characters died. Both characters died in a very violent way, uh, and both characters were busy traveling through time to get back to the present so that they can be who they are. That was retarded, in my viewpoint. It goes along with my theory that I have. You always have two movies and a TV show that are exactly alike every year. Um, and case in point, it's the same in comic books. You know, I don't know. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It just shows that the lack of faith that they had in the writers that were writing these stories and killing off these main characters in order to bring them back. It looks like a big publicity stunt as opposed to a story that we should have actually gave a shit about or should have impacted us in such a way. It's like when your dog dies, you don't go right out and buy another dog to replace him because it'll never be that dog. And if you do, you'll always expect the same thing of that dog that you did originally from the other dog. And on top of that, it demeans the time and affection and everything that you've done with the other dog and the impact that they had on your life. It's the same in this matter. I don't believe that they handled this properly, and it's pretty much disgusting at this point. And the only books I really do enjoy by Marvel are the Ultimate line, even though they kind of ruined it with Ultimatum, and that they killed off the entire universe and then once again brought everything back the same month. But Ultimate Spider-Man's always been my favorite, and they're doing a really good job doing that. Uh, so, like for me, I like to read the more indie comic books because they're not really mirroring anybody else's universe except for their own, and at the same time, they kind of try harder. I'd hate to say it like that, but it's true. Um, they try a little bit harder to get your attention and to earn it. So I really appreciate them. Now, unfortunately, one of my favorite comic books out there is on one of the mainstream comic companies, being Image, and that's The Walking Dead. But really, do you ever see another zombie comic book out there that is anything in comparison to The Walking Dead? And I tell you that the answer is no. Every other comic book out there, to include my own, is cheesy, campy, and over the top, and really never ever really takes a serious look at it. It's either super cheesy or ultra violent. And The Walking Dead doesn't do that. What it does, it's more character based comic book in that it focuses on how the characters and stuff are relating and dealing with the aftermath of the zombie apocalypse, having lost all their loved ones. Where Robert Kirkman is taking it now is phenomenal, and he's got me hooked, and I hate him for it because he's a bastard. In that now I have to buy a monthly comic book that I like. Though at the same time, it's nice to see to weed through all the crap that I have to read in order to review and report on, and actually have something that I enjoy by coming across on this one. Another one is another Kirkman book that he put out is Invincible. I love this book. It's one of the very few Kates and Tights comics that I enjoy, and I'm loving it. Um, so if you haven't had a chance to read it, check it out. Having said all that, this weekend, actually next Wednesday, which will be June 30th, we're all getting together to go see The Last Airbender at midnight, showing at the Ontario Mills Edwards Theaters. If you have a chance to, it's summer. The midnight movie marathon is on. You might as well come out and have some fun with it. I know you guys have to work and do all that. I can respect and appreciate that. But if you can make it out and have some fun with this, it'd be awesome. Um, Also, back to the Walking Dead real quick. News stories keep coming out and pictures keep coming out about, taking it from the TV show that's in development for it right now. And I have to say, it's got me all jazzed up and amped, and I know a lot of you people are feeling the same way. So, yeah, keep checking back for Forbidden Panel and seeing how that develops. Excuse me, real quick. I also wanted to give you guys an update on ZKS. ZKS is a comic book that we have put out. It's my little pride and joy right now. Other than that, I am working on a few other titles, but ZKS is the one that's coming out. We put the Zero Ash issue out back in March. It is now June. It's been 3 months. And I want to apologize for the hang up. Justin is currently drawing it, and due to the popularity of the initial story, a lot more things have come up for him to do. So he's been having his hands tied as far as like developing posters and marketing stuff that we need to sell um, for the comic book for the Zero issue, and as well as re-inking the 24-hour comic book issue, touching up on the ZKS pinup contest that we had, and drawing from scratch the ZKS #1 issue that is bound to come out. It's a lot for him to do, and Justin, if you're listening, dude, I'm sorry that you have to do all that on your own. I really wish I had the skills and talent to be doing some of it, or at least to help you out. But I also want to apologize for our fans who are just anxiously awaiting for everything to come forth so that they can enjoy it. You guys have been rocking it, but a lot of these things that we have to do this stuff. For example, the posters and the promotional material. We are a self-published comic book company, so we need to raise the money in order to be able to publish all the other books that we have out. In order to do that, we need to make more promotional material to sell and allow you guys to purchase it. Fortunately, everything that Justin's been doing and kicking out is high quality stuff, and it's really amazing. And I'm really appreciative of all the stuff he's done. But unfortunately for you, the fans, it's causing you to have to wait a little bit longer for the next issue. And again, I apologize on that. But be patient, it's coming, I promise you. Also, um, real quick before we run out of time, I only want to do this like 15 minutes at a time. Before we run out of time, if you're going to San Diego Comic Con, please contact me and let me know. We'd like to organize a big group of us to get dressed up for the zombie walk that happens every year there. Um, this one will be phenomenal. Last year's was pretty cool to see, but it wasn't as impactful as I had thought. They didn't close off the streets or anything. They just had these people walking up and down the sidewalks while traffic went through everything. It kind of took away from it. So this year, we can't really improve on it, but we'd like to join them at least and show them some support. Plus, I think it'd be kind of cool for the guy that wrote and created a Zombie Kill Squad to show up in a zombie walk. who knows, I may have an airsoft gun in my back pocket. Anyway, that's AJ Side Panel. Thanks, guys, and I'll talk to you next week.